Yeah, thanks for that. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited about the juniors. If I say juniors, it's not really juniors. It's young guys who's going to play senior rugby. And I always believe when you're good enough, you're old enough. Or you old enough, you're good enough. So yeah, it's a big honor and a privilege for us to start introducing these guys. We've done it before off the bench and stuff. But we did build these guys over the last 3 years. And it's now time to start testing them. Sometimes in a combination, sometimes one by one, but it's very exciting.
So obviously, how much of this was planned, pre-planned, and how much of this, I suppose, is a knee-jerk from the performance?
Yeah, Brendan, good question. You always, when you get a chance, we've got it on my whiteboard in the office. We've got it there. The players what we want to blood and at what stage. So it's easy to say it's rotational, but sometimes certain players lose their form, and it's a good chance to pick other players. But it's a tough kind of job when you've got 45 guys in a group and there's work for 15 on a given day, and then for 8 guys coming off the bench. So, but they know there's no one not happy in our camp, and the guys who's not playing, they'll work harder. That's how it works.
So it's a lot of changes in one go. Was it a tough week after 2 defeats that you haven't suffered often in the past, and that was there a lot of hard talking amongst you guys as coaches, players, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely no panic stage at this. It was, as I said earlier, it was after the 80th minute that we lost in Newlands. The other years we drew 19 all there, and then last year I think we beat them 23-20. So still 2 tries apiece. You mustn't read too much into that. What did happen the week afterward was a very excellent performance of how to suffocate the team by the Bulls, and they've got a very good spine. They've got an experienced spine, very experienced, with 2 Springbok scrum offs. So yeah, that's it. We carry on. You can't dwell too much in the past in our game. It's almost like Saturday night you can't sleep. Sunday night after church you start feeling better. Sunday morning you got to be positive. We all got to face one another, and then get positive. Otherwise, a mistake I've learned in my earlier days as a coach, to dwell too long on the past is a killer.
Swys, in the past sort of 4 seasons, 3 seasons, you guys at this stage of the tournament, you guys would have double the points that you have now. Is that a bit of a concern that you guys are not really starting as well as you did in the past seasons?
Yeah, I would have loved to have more points. We had last year 9 points at this stage, and the year before 9, I think, as well. Now we're sitting on 5. But if you're a golfer, I love almost my golf terms. If I double start with a par and par double drop, let's look at birdies again. That's the way to stay process driven. Hello, Melly. To stay process driven and to keep working and not to worry too much about that. It is a long competition. And I just want to say it again. I said it yesterday in that thing I did with Annemie and Bobo, and it was, I just wanted to say it again and get it off my heart. I believe in seasons. It's time for new guys. It's time for this. I'm not talking about building. Building is like a cliche everyone hates, and don't want to use that. But I'm so excited about these youngsters. It is amazing. There's beautiful. Honestly, I thought this morning, thinking about this whole team and the whole thing, I was thinking, I think we've got some of the best, if not the best, junior players coming up in the world. They were fantastic in the SA under 21s, our players specifically. We had a lot of them there. They come through a brilliant recruiting system. From Rudolph and Altman right through, they back our youth systems. That's what we do. So that's why I'm excited. And if you don't get the results straight away, I would love it. You don't know when it's going to come. But one thing I tell you what, I'll stand and fall by that. These guys are going to come through, and when they come through, it's going to be fantastic, because they are good. There's a lot of good youngsters, and they've been groomed well.
On that, how much time are you giving these youngsters to sort of get into the mold of senior rugby, as we say? Because it's definitely not going to be easy because of how young they are. How much time do you give these guys to sort of get into the groove of senior rugby?
We've got a system that we started a few years back that we do sort of, there's a way of play at the Lions. And even when Melly was under 21, he was introduced straight away, him and Dylan Smith and some of the guys. And that's where we sort of started with it. Like on a Tuesday, we'll have them down training against us. Often when I do a topic on rugby or whatever, they'll come and join us. They'll go up and down. And then we've got great young coaches, Shawnee Erasmus, Mzwaki and Vessel. They're brilliant there, and they coach according to what we want on top. So when there's a transition, it's easy. So no panic stages at this stage as far as I'm concerned.
Coach, if you dwell on that young midfield, you've obviously, as you say, you have a lot of faith in them, because to put two youngsters in a team that's lost two on the trot, you've obviously seen something there that excites you and that you believe in.
Yeah, it's not only two youngsters, there's about 7 of them. So that's how much I believe in them and the way forward. You know, if you look at Nathan Macbeth, where he comes from and how he played for our junior teams as a youngster, 20, 21 years old. You look at Vincent, exciting young guy. He's going to come through the 2 locks. They babies. So it's a young pack, but that's the way how you do it. They are surrounded by guys like Malcolm and Kwacha. It's a pity about Marvin Ori not there to lead them, and it's a pity that Warren is out. But that's how you learn, man. That's the only way you learn, and we'll get there. Maybe sooner than we hope or think. And it's a big challenge. We're playing a full-on international side that we did catch a bit of sleep overseas, and they're going to come. They showed it against the other teams.
Sorry, Swys, saying that, as you say, you're playing a full international team now. The previous 2 losses, the previous 2 games before this were away. The one home loss is obviously, in the way the conference system works, hurts you a bit more. Is it not, there'll be people that maybe say that this is quite a big gamble, given that if you lose a second home game against these guys, that would put you guys back quite a bit.
Yeah, yes, Brendan, you've been around in this game, and you're 100% right. You know, it's a catch-22 situation. You've got to sometimes have the guts to do what you do. Because I can argue the other argument as well, you know. When is ready? When is the perfect timing? The knife cuts both ways. So in our case, when I announced this team very early on Monday morning, and it was clear to everyone that everyone was happy, and we're carrying on. That's how we operate here as brothers.
I suppose, Swys, you've got a bit of an X factor about you now that the Jaguares won't know what's coming.
Yeah.
That's also something in your favour, I suppose.
I never thought of that one, yeah, but you're right.
Yeah.
If you yourself don't know what's coming, how the hell are they going to know?
What has been the response from the youngsters, though? So as you said, you selected a team on Monday. What has been the response from, as I'm sure you look in the eyes, is there fear, is there excitement? What are you seeing? Oh,
excitement, happiness, blessed, part of the system. They all of them, when they move here as 19-year-olds, they want to be, they think they're ready, and this is that's a good part of this thing, man. I always compared with this tree that we have, and you know, it's new branches coming out. What fruit is that young tree branch going to deliver? But it's there, and it's part of the tree, and now it's just to see if there's storms coming, can it take the storm? If there's hail coming, can it take the hail? If it's that's why I love this game so much. I'm so blessed to be part of it. It's not always just sunshine out there and storms. Sometimes a rough sea is a good thing.
In saying that, so there's been a couple of the senior guys that have recommitted their futures past the World Cup. So is this like sort of a trial and error time for you guys to say, these are the youngsters, this is what we're looking to sort of blend in with the senior guys that are going to be here past the World Cup?
Yeah, it's a reality. It's definitely a reality. We are competing and comparing with different currencies and stuff, and there is plenty movement. But we just got to focus at our job at hand and what we can control, and control our controllables, and try and take it from there. So if we think too much of that, I leave that to Rudolf Stroley, and I leave it to Bart, and I leave it to Altman and those guys. You know, that's why we just focus the job at hand. I'm not too concerned about that. I will answer you though that with the amount of young players that we have in the system, I'm excited about the next 2-3 years at this place. Even more so next year and the year afterwards.
Swys, were any of the changes forced by injury?
Yeah, slightly. Apiwe couldn't go lekker up in the air. He's got a patella for the last couple of games, and so he was almost a case of give him a rest. I could have strapped him up and push him again, but it was maybe the right time. Let him get him confidence back. Yeah.
Malcolm, can I just ask you a question? you've obviously, you still have a core leadership group around you, but for all these youngsters or inexperienced players coming into the squad, how does this change your role as captain on Saturday?
It doesn't really. I mean, like I said last week, all the other guys around me help me with this. I'm not the only oak on the field, and I'm not the only leader on the field. I like to lead by actions instead of talking a lot. So, like I said last week, but yeah, guys like Kocha, Dylan Smith. There's a lot of guys in the pack that can help lead the youngsters that are there, and there's a lot of guys in the backline that can do the exact same thing. So it's not just my job as a captain, but it's our job as a team to keep each other together. Malcolm, in saying that, do you think that these guys, the younger guys, who are sort of similar ages, do you think that they'll gravitate a whole lot more to you and sort of relate a little bit more to you as a people than they probably would as, no offense to Warren, a little bit older leader?
Yeah, well, first of all, Warren's probably one of the best leaders I know, to be honest. He's a great captain and a great guy with the field as well. He's all about the team. So I think anybody can relate to him, to be honest. Obviously, I've only been captain for one game, so I don't know what the future holds. I can't tell you right now, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Warren, just going. Oh, sorry, Warren. Sorry, apologies. What did you? A difficult situation in Argentina with conditions and that sort of thing. But I mean, did you take a lot out of that game? What did you take out of that game that you can transfer this week, or is it slightly different because of the changes that have been made this week to the side and a lot of new faces and that? I mean, does it make it more difficult?
Yeah, no, I mean, the circumstances are different for every single game. I mean, going over there is tougher for us to go and play there, but I mean, it's vice versa when they have to travel as well. They've also got to do the travel effect and the jet lag and all of that. So, and like Coach said, the youngsters that are coming through are very, very exciting. I mean, if you watch them when they were at junior level, how exciting they were, how good they were. So, I mean, I think it's going to be good. I think they're all going to be great.
Malcolm, just on, maybe take us back to Monday, Tuesday. The team got together. You guys were obviously not happy with your performance as a pack. You as captain, I'm sure, weren't happy with it. How honest were you guys with each other and what was said there?
Well, not a lot was said, to be honest. I mean, we all looked at the video and saw it went down. So, I mean, we all took responsibility for it, and we'll all just stand together this weekend. Obviously, last weekend was a bit tough, but I mean, last weekend is last weekend. This week we've got a new challenge.
Malcolm, who's helping you with your leadership? It's a fairly new role for you. You sort of lead by your actions, but at times you have to lead with your mouth, especially with the ref, to make sure you're understanding him and you're letting him know that you guys are trying your best. Who's helping you or guiding you with all of that?
Well, throughout the years, I just used to listen to how Wazzy used to speak to the ref, to be honest. If you check how he speaks to the ref, obviously with respect and obviously within the laws of the game. So obviously I've learnt a lot from him, but like I said, Kocha's around, Dylan's around, Alton's around. So I mean, there's a lot of guys, Ross is around, Bubish is around. There's a lot of guys that I can fall back onto and obviously take their advice and go and speak to the ref about it.
So you're finding it, that role? And
Yeah, well, I'm not used to it, but I mean, obviously I have to do it now. So I mean, it's not like me to always speak to the ref. I mean, I usually only spoke to the ref about scrums and that's about it. But now I've got to speak to the ref about all the complaints on the field, should I say? But yeah, I mean, slowly but surely, I think I'll get used to it.
Have you personally made a self-assessment of how it went from a leadership point of view on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be the first one to put my hand up and say that I wasn't all there. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't look at anybody else to blame. I look at myself first.
So it's a fact that sometimes players get into a comfort zone. Are you hoping for these young guys to can bring new enthusiasm, energy, and those things?
Yeah, Rudolph, for me, it's more about them, not about the guys getting complacent. I want them to put their marker down. We did say earlier in the season, I mentioned 4 names. It doesn't matter if you're Elton Yankees, Mapo, Warren Whiteley, or Malcolm Marx. The jersey belongs to a much, much bigger union than yourself. So everyone, myself included, you got to be the best to earn that jersey on a given Saturday. And that will stay while I'm around here. That'll stay the thing. There's no place for passengers in our team. Definitely not.
A couple of weeks ago, you spoke about Franco Nadia coming from the Bulls. He gets his opportunity in a Lions jersey this week. But what are you expecting from him? What sort of player is he? Is he a little
Cook is a specialist 12. Harold is a specialist 12. He's played most of the games at 12 so far. He comes from Japan. We needed him for a backup for Harold, or Harold backup for him. He straight away put his hand up. He's an energetic kind of guy. He's up there. He wants to play. He's involved, and I thought it was a brilliant time to look at a new centre pairing for the future. Not to say that the other two, they've proven themselves. They played over 70, 80 and I think close to 100 Super Games. But for a new exciting centre combination, in my opinion, perfect time. Best top 2 centres in the world, great backline to be competed against. Imagine they come through with flying colours, then my prediction for a year or two later might come in reality sooner than we hope.
Last question?
So you said on Saturday also you guys can't score tries in the background if the platform's not laid. Yeah, I suppose that's the first objective this week, is that the platform needs to be laid.
Yes, Brendan, you know, I just got to clarify that. Our little secret we had in the last couple of years in this team was Jaco Kriel and Tecklenburg and Warren Whiteley and Quagga and those sort of guys. They're the guys that you would pick in the wider channels, and they were part of that thing out wide there. So people often think it's forwards and backs. It's attack and defence in the modern game. No, it's more than the old-fashioned forwards and backs. So that try that we scored under the poles was called by a back when Marnus picked up and fed to Dylan. So that's a team thing. There was a certain call to go through the middle. We mustn't make too much, but then saying that it is horses for courses, it is nice if your wings can finish the tries like like happened in the last couple of years. But 2016, our forwards was dominating. Our loose forwards was up, especially we ran and drag it. So it's very hard to say. Obviously, I need to work a bit on the go forward ball, on the momentum, and picking the gaps and working that. But it's, as long as we can win games, and I know we want to stay process driven, but if we can get other areas of the game better, up our defence maybe, get the kicking game a bit better going, not always kick but know when to kick. We had the balance wrong in the past. We definitely had the balance wrong. You can't just run everything. You got so I know once the balance will be right again, the results will be there again.
Swys, can you just say that in Afrikaans for Afrikaans news?
Ek kan net so 2 vrae vra in Afrikaans.
For Malcolm.
Ek sal daar weer. Dieselfde vraag as Brendan eerste gevra het is, het julle voor julle die seisoen beplan het, dink julle gaan al so vroeg van die nuwe ding in die span inkry, of is dit 'n reaksie op die afgelope 2 vertonings of tydvertonings?
Definitief deel van ons plan. Dis geen verwaarde spronge of iets nie. Ek het dan van die begin af het ons van die ouens saamgevat. Vermaak was dan saam Argentinië toe en ons het met hom gaan wen daar. Om jou idee te gee, ons het van die begin af van die jong ouens Kaap toe gevat. So ons het nou 'n bietjie meer, is dalk 'n beter geleentheid. Dis dalk 'n beter geleentheid ook as 'n sogenaamde senior speler sy vorm verloor, laat een van die ouens hom bietjie druk. Dis glad nie nuut nie en dis glad nie sleg nie.
So as jy van die ouer of van die meer ervare spelers wat gepos is as gevolg van die vertonings?
Wat gaan?
Wat gepos is, wat?
Ja, dit is baie keer moontlik as jy jou vorm verloor en die coaches werk met hom, ek werk met 'n spesifieke speler wat ons weet wat goed is en wat ons wil terugkry op vorm. Dis ons eerste werk om spelers op vorm te kry en hom die doodseker maak hy bereik sy potensiaal. En as hy sy vorm verloor en 'n jong ou druk hom, is baie gesond. Dit is eintlik 'n ding wat meer kan plaasvind in die moderne game.
En wat verwag julle van die Jags af?
Ja, hulle is 'n goeie span. Hulle het die Bulle daar gewen, hulle die Blues gewen, they lost against us. So, ekskuus ek moet Afrikaans praat. Hulle teen ons verloor. Maar hulle is 'n baie goeie span. Ons feitelik hulle internasionale span. Ons ken hulle ook so goed. Ons ken hulle goed wat hulle doen ook. Ons weet wanneer hulle obstruksie pleeg in die lyn staan. As hulle jou lifter uithaal. Ons is redelik gemoeid met al hulle streke en hoe hulle van die bal af bietjie die ouens wegvat. Ons weet ook hulle dissipline is definitief nie wat dit moet wees nie en ons sal absoluut gedissiplineerd moet wees soos die eerste helfte teen WP, teen die Stormers ekskuus en die wedstryd in Argentinië. As ons dissipline gaan met hierdie onervare span, dan sal jy probleme kry, maar solank ons gedissiplineerd bly en doen wat ons moet doen, weet ek kan nou al vir jou sê, hulle dissipline sal weer gaan.
Dankie julle. Thanks everyone.